explain you what are the interesting thing in here. So then we'll go with some practices, and you will be learn a lot of things in that. I hope you can see the whiteboard. So log management in Linux. Basically, all the logs will be located under the var log folder. This is the folder locations where they are going to store all the logs. So when you say all the logs, they will be going to log, like, let's say, for example, what they are going to log. What if you look at the Linux system, what are they going to log? If I say like this, from the boot up process to until you shut down the system, and from the boot up process to until you shut down the system, everything can be logged into the Linux environment. But in the default, if you look at the default configurations, in the default manner, they are not going to log everything, but they will be logging several things, like, say, for example, they will be logging basically boot process, running processes, and if you logged into the system through the SSH, that will also going to log. Likewise, these things are being logged. But if you want to look at whenever, like, if you have deleted the file, if you want to log who has deleted the file, and if you want to log the logging logout sessions, like whenever you logged into the sessions, that can be logged. Log out from the sessions, that also can be logged. And then again, when you're going to detailed out the file accesses, that can be logged. So likewise, there are certain set of log files which is doing the by default logging, as well as you can configure the in-depth log part if you really require. So whenever you are going to deal with the log, there is a service, we call it as rsyslog daemon. This is the daemon which we are going to use, or service that we will be using for the logging facility. So irrespective of the Linux operating system that you are using, it can be the Debian OSs, it can be the Red Hat OSs, it can be anything, irrespective of the logging irrespective of the operating systems, they will be logged into all the logs content will be logged into the var log environment, var log directory. This is the folder locations, and the daemon that is using is the rsyslog daemon. So you can configure what you need to log and what not to log. So that is, there is a freedom to do the configurations. It's totally up to you to decide what we are going to log into the Linux system and what we will be not going to log into Linux systems. That based on your requirement, based on your like, let's say, for example, basically the requirement, you can be able to decide what you will be going to log in there. Is it clear, guys? Like, do you have any issues, concerns so far what we have discussed?
Clear, sir.
Any specific questions, concerns, anything that you want to know?
So rsyslog daemon කෙනෙක් ඔක්කොම ඒතකොට මැනේජ්මන්ට් වෙන්නේ
login එක manage වෙන්නේ ඒකේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ ඕක ස්ටොප් කරොත්
stop කරොත් log වෙන්නේ නැහැ. stop කරොත් අනිවාර්යෙන් log වෙන්නේ නැහැ. login නවතිනවා.
ඒ කියන්නේ මොකක් හරි එකක් ඇවිල්ලා මේ ඕක ස්ටොප් කරලා වැඩ කරොත් එතනින් එහාට ලොග් වදින්නේ නැද්ද? මොකුත්ම වදින්නේ නැද්ද?
නෑ, ඉතින් syslog එක වැඩ කරන්නේ නැතුව log වදින්න විදියක් නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ කාටවත් log වදින්න විදියක් නැහැ.
එතකොට දැන් ලොග් මේ ඔක ඔෆ් කරාම ලොග් වදින්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට ඔෆ් කරන කලින් මේ ලොග් ටික
ඒ ටිකමම තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයාලා සිතන්නකො සර්විස් එක ෂට් ඩවුන් කරා කියලා. සර්විස් එක ෂට් ඩවුන් කරනකම් වැදිච්ච ලොග්ස් ටික හැමම තියෙනවා.
සර් මේ සිස්ටම් එක මේ ඩිරෙක්ටරිස් වල තියාගන්නේ නැහැ නේද මේ ක්‍රියේට් කරපු එතකොට මේ ඒක සර් මේ හැදුනේ කියලා හොයාගන්න විදියක් නැද්ද ඒකට?
බෑ. ඒක මෙහෙමයි. ඕක මෙහෙම දෙයක් තියෙන්නේ. දැන් Linux වල create date එකක් තියාගන්න නැහැ කිව්වට ඇත්තටම තියාගන්නවා. ඒක ඔයාලගේ normal tools වලින් බලන්න බෑ. Linux ඔයාලා XFS නම් පාවිච්චි කරන්න. sorry ext4 files එක නම් පාවිච්චි කරන්න. ext4 වල create date එකක් තියෙන එක forensic tool වලින් තමයි ගන්න පුළුවන්. normally අපිට ගන්න බෑ. XFS වල තියෙනවා. ඒකත් maintain කරනවා. ගන්න ඔයාලට forensic tool එකක් ඕන වෙනවා. ඒත් ඔයාලට ගන්න සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපිට නිකන් අද්දි Linux files and folders date and time එකක් තියාගන්න නැහැ කියන එක තමයි කියන්නේ. උනට ඇත්තටම තියාගන්න ඕනේ. forensic tool එකක් ඕනේ ඒක බලන්න.
සර් වලටත් එහෙමද? ඒ කියන්නේ මේ ෆෝල්ඩර් වල විතරද තියාගන්නේ?
ඔක්කොටම ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක ඇවිල්ලා ෆයිල් ෆෝල්ඩර් කියන නෙමෙයි ඒක ෆයිල් සිස්ටම් අනුව වෙනස් වෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ පාවිච්චි කරන ෆයිල් සිස්ටම් එක මොකක්ද කියන එක අනුව තමයි වෙනස් වෙන්නේ. උදාහරණයකට ඔයා ෆයිල් සිස්ටම් එක පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් ext4 එකක් XFS වගේ ෆයිල් සිස්ටම් යනකොට අර විදිහට තමයි තියෙන්නේ.
සර් ඔය ෆොරෙන්සික් කරද්දී RAM එකේ ඉමේජ් එකක් ගන්නවා කියලා කියනවා නේද?
ඔව්.
කියන්නේ සර් එතකොට මේ RAM එක කියන්නේ මේ ඩයිනමික් එකක් නේ. මැෂින් එක ෂට් ඩවුන් වුණාට පස්සේ කොහොමද එතකොට
නෑ ෆොරන්සික් වලදී අපි ගහන්න ඕනේ මේ මැෂින් එක ෂට් ඩවුන් කරන්න කලින්.
ඒ කියන්නේ ෂට් ඩවුන් වුණාට පස්සේ මේ
ෂට් ඩවුන් කරලා ගහලා වැඩක් නෑ. ඒ කියන්නේ රීස්ටාර්ට් කරලා ගැහුවොත් එහෙම තේරුමක් නෑ. අපි ගහන්න ඕනේ මේ ෂට් ඩවුන් කරන්න කලින්. ඒ කියන්නේ මැෂින් එක අප් ඇන්ඩ් රනින් තියෙන වෙලාවෙදිම තමයි ගහන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මැෂින් එක ඩවුන් කරන්න කලින් අපි ගහනවා.
ඒ කියන්නේ සර් හොරෙක් ඇවිල්ලා උගේ වැඩේ කරලා රීස්ටාර්ට් කරලා දාලා ගියොත් ඒත් බෑ.
ඒ කියන්නේ මෙහෙම ඇටැකර් කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඇටැකර්ස්ලා මේ වෙනකන් අපි බලපු කිසිම ඉන්සිඩන්ට් එකක ඇටැකර් රීබූට් කරලා යන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? වෙන්නේ අපේ මෙමු තමයි රීබූට් කරන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි බලපු මෙච්චර වෙලා කල් කරපු කොම් ඉන්සිඩන්ට් වල ඔය ෆොරන්සික් කරපු ඉන්සිඩන්ට් වල අපි අතරම ඉන්සිඩන්ට් රෙස්පොන්ස් දෙන්න යනකොට මෙහෙ උම්ම තමයි රීබූට් කරලා වැඩේ කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මොකද උන් බයයි උන්ගේ වැරදි අහුවෙන හින්දා ෆොරන්සික් ඉන්වෙස්ටිගේෂන් එකේ. එතකොට පළවෙනියටම කරන් රීබූට් කරන එක. කරපු ගමන් අනිත් ඒවා අනිත් ගොඩක් ඒවා එතනින් අයින් වෙනවා. Any other questions, concerns guys so far what we have discussed? Anything else? ඕක තමයි කේස් එකේ කියන්නේ. දැන් ඔය කොහොමත් අපි මැෂින් එක කොහොමත් දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාට ඇටැක් ඌට පර්පස් එකක් නැහැ. ඕක ඇටැක් කරපු එකාටම රීබූට් කරනවා. මොකද ඌ ඕක කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඌට වැඩක් නැහැ එහෙම කරලා. ඌගේ පර්පස් එක ඒක නෙමෙයිනේ මැෂින් රීබූට් කර කර ඉන්න නෙමෙයිනේ ඕක ඉන්නේ. එතකොට ඌගේ තියෙන මොටිවේෂන් එක අනුව වැඩේ කරලා ඌට ඊට පස්සේ අදාළ නැහැ ඕගොල්ලෝ හොයන්න ගියා. මොකද හොයන්න බැරි වෙන්න තමයි ඌ එන්නේ. ඉතින් ඔයාලා හෙව්වත් ඌට අදාළත් යන්නේ නැහැ. ඉතින් ඌ තියලා යනවා ඉදිරියට මැෂින් එකේ. එකම දේ අරක තමයි කතන්දරේ. ඔයාලගේ ඔයා අපේ කට්ටියම තමයි කෙලවන්න තියාගෙන. එතකොට ඉතින් අපිට කෙලවන එක අහන්න දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. Okay, any other questions, anything else that you want to ask? Right, any other questions guys, anything else that you want to know? Like just before we going forward with the practicals, like this is actually we don't have much to learn like theoretical background, but we have a lot of practical aspects that we can learn there.
Sir, Microsoft වල තියෙන Active Directory කියලා මේ feature එක. ඒ වගේ Linux වලදී මේ මොකද්ද use කරන්නේ? එතකොට මේ Windows හරි වෙන OS run වෙන machine එකකුත් Linux system එකකින් මේ manage කරන්න පුළුවන් control කරලා
නෑ මෙහෙමයි දැන් ඔයාව කියන කතන්දරේ මේ මෙහෙම කේස් එකක් තියෙන්නේ. දැන් නිකන් හිතන්නකෝ Windows Active Directory එකේදී වෙන්නේ centralized authentication concept එක. ඒ කියන්නේ single sign on කියලා දැන් උදාහරණයකට ඔයාගේ machine එක දැන් ඔයාට දැන් හිතන්නකෝ ඔයා වැඩ කරන්න යනවා කියලා කම්පැනි එක වැඩ කරන්න ගියාම ඔයාට හම්බෙනවා සිස්ටම් කීපයක්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාට HR සිස්ටම් එක තියෙන ඇක්සස් හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. ඊට පස්සේ හිතන්න ඔයාට ඊට පස්සේ දෙනවා ලීව් මැනේජ්මන්ට් සිස්ටම් එක. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාට තව හම්බෙනවා IT රික්වෙස්ට් දාන තව සිස්ටම් එකක්. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාට දෙනවා හිතන්නකෝ මේල් තියෙනවා. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ ටිකටිං සිස්ටම් එකක් දෙනවා. ඔය වගේ සිස්ටම් 6ක් 7ක් තියෙනවා කියන එක ඔයා වැඩ කරන කම්පැනි. ඒතර ඔයාට ඔය ඔක්කොම සිස්ටම්ස් ටික එකපාරට ලොග් වෙන්න එක එක ලොගින් හදාගෙන ගියොත් එimhe එන වාතයක්. ඒ කියන්නේ එතකොට ටෙනිල් කියලා එක තැනක හදනවා. තව තැනක ටෙනිල් 1 2 3 කියලා හදනවා. ඔය වගේ යූසර් නේම් 10ක් 15ක් එක්ක පාස්වර්ඩ් 10ක් 15ක් මතක තියාගන්න බෑනේ ප්‍රැක්ටිකලි. ඔය concept එකට override කරන්න තමයි ඔය centralized authentication mechanism එකක් කියන්නේ Active Directory. Active Directory එකේ backend එකේ යන්නේ ඇත්තටම Kerberos කියන protocol එක. Kerberos Active Directory. Kerberos කියන්නේ open source protocol එකක්. ඕකේ backend එක කියන්නේ Kerberos. ඕක open source එකක්. දැන් Active Directory ඇවිල්ලා Windows ලගේ product එකක්. ඔය වගේම තව තියෙනවා Free IPA කියලා. මේක ඇවිල්ලා open source similar Active Directory product එකක්. Active Directory වගේම similar product එකක්. open source එකක්. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයා බැලුවොත් එහෙම තව තියෙනවා Open LDAP කියලා. Open LDAP කියන්නේ open source එකක්. Open LDAP එකට වැඩිය Free IP එක ලේසි install කරන්න සහ use කරන්න ලේසි. ඔය product තුනක් මේ ඇවිල්ලා. ඔය ඇවිල්ලා Active Directory use කරන product තුනක්. Kerberos use කරන product තුනක් මේ. ඒතර Active Directory එක Microsoft ලගේ product එක, Free IP එක තියෙනවා, Open LDAP එක තියෙනවා. දෙකම open source දෙක. ඔයාට ඕන නම් දැන් Active Directory එකෙන් authenticate කරන්න ඕන නම් Linux systems උනත් පුළුවන්. Free IP එකෙන් authenticate කරන්න ඕන නම් Windows environment එකේත් පුළුවන්. Windows client ලා authenticate කරවන්න ඕන නම් ඒත් පුළුවන්. ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. ඕන solution එකක මොකද ඒක මේ ඔක්කොම depend වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මේ Kerberos කියන protocol එකට. Kerberos තමයි ඔය back end එක යන්නේ මේ මොක වුණා. AD කියයි Free IP කියයි Open LDAP කියයි හැබැයි back end එක යන protocol එක කියන්නේ Kerberos. ඒතර ඔයාට ඕන විදියකට Linux use කරනවා නම් දැන් අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කරන්නේ අපි නම් implementation කරනකොට කරන්නේ client ලා Windows users ලා client ලා ඔක්කොම Active Directory integrate කරනවා. මොකද ඒක Windows environment එකක් එක්ක Windows integrate කරාම compatibility ප්‍රශ්න නැහැ. අනිත් එක policy push කරන්න ලේසි. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි policies group policies එකෙන් push කරන password policy අනම්මනම් centrally push කරන්නේ ඕකේ. ඊට පස්සේ Linux servers දැන් මොකද users ලා යන තැන් අඩු වෙන්නේ Linux servers වලට අපි වෙනම දානවා free IPA server එක. ඒක දාලා Linux servers ටික integrate කරනවා free IP එකට. එතකොට ඒකෙන් Linux servers ටික authenticate වෙනවා. දැන් අපි කරන ගොඩක් implementation ඔහොම තමයි කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මම කරපු ඒවා නම් දෙකක් දැන් දෙකක් විතර මම ඔහොම තමයි දාලා තියෙන්නේ. එහෙම කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඕනනම් ඉතින් Windows Linux servers උත් AD එකටම integrate කරන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් ඒක practical අපි කරන්නේ නැහැ. practical වෙනවා අරවල. කරන්න ඕන නම් කරන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් කරන්නේ නැහැ. මේකේ benefit එක තමයි දැන් හිතන්නකෝ ඔයාට දැන් system 8ක් විතර තියෙන username 8ක් එක්ක password 8ක්. එකක් ඔයාට වදයක් ඕක manage කරන එක. password එකක් අමතක වුණොත් එහෙම reset කරන්න ගිහිල්ලා හැම එකාගෙන් පස්සේ ගිහිල්ලා වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මේකේ password එක අමතක වුණොත් එක තැනක reset කරාම වැඩ ඉවරයි. මොකද ඔක්කොටම යන්නේ AD එකේ username password එක තමයි ඔක්කොම application වලට use කරන්නේ. හරිනේ. එතකොට ඔයා අයින් වෙන දවසක කෙලින්ම AD user disable කර ගමන් deactive කරපු ගමන් අනිත් එක system එකකවත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. නැත්තම් ඔය ඌ අයින් වෙන දවසට උගේ තියෙන login කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ? ඔය ඔක්කොම හොය activate deactive කර යන්න ඕනේ. වැරදිලා හරි අමතක වුණොත් එහෙම එකක access තියෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ ඌට අයින් වෙච්ච එකට. හරි ඒ වගේ system administration ලේසි වෙන තමයි ඔය AD environment එක අපි දාන්නේ. දැන් නම් හැම කම්පැනි එකම AD තියෙනවා. ඉස්සර නම් ගොඩක් වෙලාට AD තිබ්බේ නැහැ පොඩි කම්පැනි ඉස්සර. දැන් නම් පොඩි කම්පැනි ඔය සාමාන්‍ය ස්කේල් එකේ ලයික් යූසර්ස්ලා 25 30 ඉන්න තැන් වලත් AD එකක් දානවා අනිවාර්යයෙන්. මැනේජ් කරන්න ලේසි එකයි. ක්ලියර්ද ඒක?
සර් මට අර ෆ්‍රී IP කියන එක පොඩ්ඩක් පැහැදිලි වෙන්නේ මම රියව් වුණා ඒ වෙලාවේ.
නෑ නෑ ෆ්‍රී IPA කියන්නේ මේ Active Directory වගේම open source product එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ Active Directory එක හදන Microsoft එකෙන් free IPA open එන්න open source product එකක්. ඒ මේ ඔක්කොගේ මේ product තුනේම back end එකේ වැඩ කරන්නේ Kerberos protocol එක. ඔය මොක කිව්වත් protocol එක හැදලා තියෙන්නේ මුන් නෙමෙයි Kerberos protocol එක හදලා තියෙන්නේ MIT එකේ. MIT මේ ලංකාවේ තියෙන MIT එක නෙමෙයි මේ research institute එකක් USA වල තියෙන MIT එක. MIT එකෙන් තමයි Kerberos protocol එක හදලා තියෙන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ research project එකක් විදියට. තුනම Active Directory free IP OpenLDAP තුන් දෙනාම use කරන්නේ Kerberosම තමයි. වෙනසක් නැහැ. and the concept wise එකයි ඒනට අර ඔයාලට look and feel එක features එහෙම මේ හම්බෙන්නේ පොඩි පොඩි වෙනස්කම් තියෙනවා. එච්චරයි. මේ Active Directory අහපු ඉන්න මම මේ කිව්වේ. තේරුණාද මේක ගැන?
ඔව් සර්.
මම හිතන්නේ අනිත් අයටත් මේක තේරෙන්නේ නැති මම මේ අහපු නින්දා කියපු ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරයක් දුන්නේ. අනිත් අයට ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවද මේක තව? Right, so if you don't have any issues, let me show you like interesting thing in here. මොන ෆයිල් එකේ changes දැව්වේ මේ හසිත මට තේරුන්නේ නැහැ මට අතර මේක මිස් වුණා අහපු ප්‍රශ්නේ. මොන ෆයිල් එකේ changes ද root user ට විතරක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. වාලොග් එකේ ඒකද ඔයා ඇහුවේ? හසිත. නෑ නෑ ඒකේ changes root user විතර. ඒක ඇත්තටම changes කාටවත් කරන්න බෑ. root user කරත් වැඩ case එකක් තියෙනවා. මොකද මම ඔයාලට පෙන්නන්නම් ඒක root user වත් changes කරන්න බෑ ඒකේ. ඒක කෙලින්ම sys මේක පේනව නේද ඔයාලට දැන්? මෙතන වාලොග් කියන location එකට ගියාම මෙතන එක එක log file හැදිලා තියෙනවා මේ තියෙන. මේ තියෙන. මෙතන තියෙනවා mail log කියලා. last log කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ messages කියලා. spooler කියලා. secure කියලා. btmp කියලා. boot.log කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ තව audit කියලා folder එක ඇතුලේ if you go into the audit folder you will be seeing the audit logs. Right, so the cups, you have the cups and the httpd. This is the logs for the web server httpd. So likewise you will be able to see different type of logs. Out of this, secure is one of the important thing. Like see here, the interesting thing that you remember, I'll show you that one also. The concept wise is similar, but if you look at the log file name might be slight difference. Like say for example, if you going here, just give me a second. If you go into the varlog directory here, the file name will be slightly different. Like see, btmp will be same, auth log, kern log, last log, mail log, syslog. මේ දැන් Ubuntu එකේ මේකේ ෆයිල් නේම් එක log file name පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් වෙනවා. මෙතන last log කියලා තියෙනවා. මෙතන එහෙම last log එක මෙතනක් තියෙනවා. syslog කියලා මෙතන syslog කියන එක තමයි මෙතන messages කියලා කියන්නේ. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් message ඔයාලට මොකක් හරි issue එකක් ආවොත් අපි කෙලින්ම කරන්නේ මම පෙන්නන්නම් tail -f එකක් ගහලා messages කියන ෆයිල් එක බලන් ඉන්නවා. මෙතන පෙන්නනවා service restart කරද්දි. service start කරද්දි මම ඔයාලට පෙන්නන්නම් ඕන. ආයි මේකෙම session එකක් tab එකක් open කරලා මම මේ session එක සිංහලෙන්ම කරන් කියලා අවුල නැද්ද guys ඔයාලට? මොහොමඩ් හිටියා නේද? මොහොමඩ් අපි. කවුද? Ahmad, sorry. Ahmad, is it okay if I continue with Sinhala or Shall I continue with English? Ahmad,
Yes, sir.
is it okay if I continue with Sinhala language, or shall I continue? Shall I use only the English?
Uh, okay, sir.
What do you mean by okay? Okay to go ahead with the Sinhala language, or
English language, okay, sir.
okay, English? Okay, okay, great. So whenever you are going to deal with this one, so like here, look at this. I am going to restart the just a service. Let's say I'll be just restarting SSHD service. And at the same time, I'm going to monitor the SSHD, the messages continuously. Look at this. Look at here. Stopping open SSH server daemon. SSHD service succeeded. Stop the open server SSH server daemon. Stop target SSH keygen target. Stopping SSHD keygen target. Reach the targeted target SSHD keygen target. Starting open SSH server daemon. Started open SSH server daemon. Now you can see the service has been started in the as usual manner, as usual way. So you can see that is done. So the EC2 user, that is whenever you going to restart it, so that will be putting in here under the warlog messages. Look at the warlog messages. So I just continuously, this is where it is important. Like, let's say, for example, if you like now, let me show you some interesting thing. Let me check whether the postfix service is there. I'll generate the error message in here. Yes, that is there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make some errors on the postfix configuration file. Nothing to worry, guys. Just these are just configuration file parameters. I'm just unmounting this particular parameter. Now I'll be restarting the service. I'm trying to start the service, postfix service. At the same time, it has been continuous start. I'm going to look at the message. See here, you will be able to see warning, etc postfix main.cf. Logical line must not start with the compatibility. So you can see white space compatibility. You can see there is a warning. There is a warning. So it says that this particular file having a space, logical file line must not start with the white space. So it says compatibility. Just search for this word. So you will be able to understand there is issue in this one. See, space. Let's say if you made a mistake on the errors in here, now look at here. I'm continuously monitoring the warlog messages, and I'm going to restart the postfix service. Still that is giving you errors, but you can see the warnings. Unused parameter stability underscore level equal to, it says the error. Unused parameter. So once you look at this one, you can easily identify, okay, there is issue with this. So in the live environment, it's not so easy, but just to show you like how it's going to happen. Right? Let's say, for example, if you done any mistakes in the data directory, you have say the instead of varlib, you are going to say var data, or let's say varlog, and you made a mistake again in here, and again doing the restart and continuously monitoring this one. See, stopping postfix manual, postfix starting, cannot create the directory warlog postfix, permission denied, postfix service control process exited, fail to start with the exit 0. Here you can see the starting has been failed, and you will be able to see the cannot create a directory, permission denied. So either you can assign the permission to the create the directory called warlog postfix, or else what you can do is you can create the directory and do it. So for the time being, what I'm going to do is I'm just selecting, look at here, and I'm just changing these changes. Valid postfix. Now again, I'm doing the restarting and Sting that is doing perfectly. So this is how you will be using the changes like varlog messages. Similarly, in the Ubuntu, you will be getting the same benefit with the varlog tail minus f varlog syslog. Similar thing. Syslog gekai, what you are getting here is the syslog content and the varlog messages in the Red Hat environment are the similar. So the concept wise is the same, but you will be getting experiences. The file name will be slightly differences in the Red Hat and the Ubuntu. Like there is another few interesting command, like you have the command called last B command. Last B command in the sense they will be showing you here. This is what you need to understand. This is like it will show you the people who has tried to access this machine. This is like a brute force attack to this machine. You can see when I run the last B command, there are so many people with the Ryan username from this IP address. These are attackers IPs: user, admin, pi, user, start, Ubuntu, Postgres, test, Vagrant, butter, admin, teams, PR, TS3. Likewise, they are trying to deal with the different like admin, CentOS, FTP user. This is actually a type of a brute force attack. They try to access this machine because I have opened the port 22 to the world. That's why they are trying to hack my machine. You can see a lot of people. But if you run the last log command, actually they will show you who has actually logged into the machine. Successful logging details will be showing here. The root user has been successfully logged in on June 26. This is date. And the EC2 user has been successfully logged in by using this IP address on 13th July. That means today at this time. So except that, there are a few users like Nisal, Akila, Amit, Kasun, Shashika. This is we have used for the user management purposes. June 12, they have been logged in, and except that, no other users has tried to log into the session. So you can see that the last log. See, these are the interesting command. Last B will show you all the SSH user logging attempts. SSH user logging attempts. You can see how many. You can see the same IP with the different username. They have been tried out. If see here, the way that we will be identifying whether it is a successful attempt or not, if it is successfully logged in, you should have a TTY assigned. Like no TTY in the sense this is not a successful login. See, last B and the last log. So these are the just a command. Actually, what they are going to do here is when you run the last log command, they will read out this file. When you run the last B command, they will read out in this BTMP file. So there is another command called UTMP dump WTMP. There is another interesting file. This is actually we will be heavily used if you want to detect like your system whether it is under attack or not. This will show you again the user details again from the different logging sessions. See, these are actually not related. So here you can see the EC2 user have been logged in 2021 June 8, 151. EC2 user again from this IP. This is the login. So likewise, they will show you different logging sessions has been established with this server. So this is how you will be seeing here. So this is, I think, 61.245.161.134. It's a Mobitel IP address. So this is my IPs. So likewise, you will be able to see the different logging sessions. Different kind of login sessions can be seen with the WTMP, UTMP dump file. If you continuously look at the tail minus F, the secure will be showing you the, look at this, the SSH access details. SSH access details. You can see that invalid user CSG OS or server. See, they are trying with the different usernames. Like if you want to look at entire file, you can use the less command and look at the entire file. See here, the entire file that you can see. Look at this, invalid use admin from this IP address. Invalid use admin from this IP address. Like so many attempts. So many attempts. This is what will happen if you have micro tick. If you have opened the SSH connection globally to any servers. Within few hours, they will identify your server and they try to run the brute force attacks against your server. Admin 1, admin 1, admin 1, UBNT. Likewise, you can see that different type of attacks are happening here. Different kind of attacks. Use a tech, use a demo. See here. Elko admin. But no one be able to actually they will be not guaranteed that due to the SSHD configurations they can't be able to access because this particular machine disable the password based authentications, because if they want to access it they really require the key based authentication, but unfortunately this is they don't have the keys, they can't access it. That's why they can't be able to access the machines. But you can see if you put a like simple username and the password like admin user and the password like ABC123, within 10 minutes time your machine get hacked. That is guaranteed. See, all the possible users along with their password they will try out. Oracle, Usuario.
ග්ලෝබල් ඕපන් කරනවා කියන එක අදහස මොකක්ද?
ඒ කියන්නේ මම මේකේ සර්වර් එකේ port 22 open කරලා තියෙන එළියට ඒක හැම user හැම ඔක්කොටම all firewall එකෙන් all IP allow කරලා තියෙනවා.
මේ ඔය සර්ගේ මේ කම්පියුටර් එකද?
මගේ එක නෙමෙයි, මගේ කම්පියුටර් නෙමෙයි මේක මේක AWS එකේ තියෙන test server එකක් මම මේ දාපු මගේ AWS account එකේ තියෙන. මගේ එකේ මම 222 open කරලා නෑ මගේ අම්මේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ සර් මේ අපි උනත් මේ ඔය විදිහට ඕපන් කරලා මේ මැෂින් එක තිබ්බගෙන අපි බොට් කෙනෙක් විදිහට මේ වෙනවා නොදැනවද? සිම්පල් අර සර් කිව්වා
බොට් එකක් වෙන්නේ නෑ ටෙනිඩ්. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මෙතන බොට් එකක් නෙමෙයි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, මාව brute force attack එක තියෙන්නේ. සමහර අය කට්ටිය මගේ දැන් access කරන්න try කරන එකයි. බොට් එකක් වෙලා නෑ, brute force එකක් කරන්න මගේ machine එකට. By different usernames and the different password. This is kind of a brute force attack and guessing the users and the password try to get access. This you can use, look at with this less secure file. In the Ubuntu, you can see the same thing. You can see the same thing in Ubuntu. You will be able to see the same thing with the auth log. Same thing in the auth log. Sorry. var log auth log. See. Same thing. If I show you the less command along with the less command, you can see the same attack, because this is also I have publicly open port 22 to anyone. Invalid user EC2-user. They will trying with the different username. This is a real world example of brute force attack. Invalid user MySQL. invalid user, user bot 1, invalid user root, invalid user new health, FTP user, GitLab runner. See, they are trying with every possible usernames.
සර් එතකොට දැන් මේ attack එකත් එක්ක යනකොට මේ අපි public දැන් ඔය හදලා තියෙන server එකේ public IP එකත් එක්ක නේද එන්නේ. ඒතකොට public IP එක කොහොමද උන්ට වෙන්නේ?
අපෝ ඒක පුළුවන්. ඔයා නිකන් සර්වර් එක පැයකට එළියට දාන්නකෝ මේ public IP එක දාලා මේ port 22 එළියට open කරන්නකෝ. ඔය මේ attackersලා මුළු ඔක්කොම network scan කරනවා. scan කර කර detect කරනවා port 22 open servers මොනවද 338 මේවා මේ ඌ manually කරන්නේ නේ මේවා ඔක්කොම automate කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේ ඔයාලට බලන්නකෝ මේ attack එක යන විදිය 5:59 11ට එකක් යනවා ආයෙ 11ට යනවා නේ එක තප්පරේ ඇතුළේදී attacks 4ක් යවලා තියෙනවා එක එක විදියේ තප්පර මේ තප්පරෙන් තප්පර දැන් අපි manually කරොත් එහෙනම් මේක තප්පරෙන් තප්පරේ ගහන්න බෑනේ ඔහොම මු මේ තප්පරේට ගහන්නේ මේ ඔයා නිකන් හිතා ගන්න පුළුවන් මේව ඔක්කොම automated tool වලින් ගහන්න attacks කිසිම එකක් උන් manually කරන්නේ නැහැ අඩුම ගානේ උන් දන්නෙත් නැහැ මෙහෙම එකක් උන් scan කරලා මේ run brute force එක run කරනවාද කියලා අරුන් notify වෙන්නේ ඔය attack එක success වුණොත් විතරයි ඔයාලා නිකන් එළියට දාන්න මේ දැන් මේ මාස ගාණක් එළියට දාපුවක් ඔයාලට තේරෙනවා ඇතිනේ මේක attack එක කොච්චර විදියට ගහනවද කියලා මුන්ට ඉතින් බෑ හොඳම වැඩේ මේ users whenever you are going to be creating the Linux users of course you can identify that they will try out the users which will be available like root user ubuntu admin sam likewise the english common names and the other the service usernames if you using the when you creating the users if you using the uncommon names like say for example like just imagine like we are using the Jnanapala. Of course, they can't able to even guess it because those things are not in their databases. Sirisoma, Punyasoma. Even your names also like if I create the users by the username of Sashika, so that still they can't guess it. Like if you using when you creating the usernames, if you are using Sinhala names, of course they will be not running the brute force against the Sinhala names because those are not in their databases. සිංහලයටත් එහෙමත් කරන්නේ නැහැ ඒගොල්ලෝ. සිංහලය ගැහුවත් දැන් මේක සිංහල එක්කෙනෙක් ගැහුවා කියන්නකෝ. ඒත් ඌ ඒ database edit කරන්නේ නැහැනේ. ඌ ඒ තියෙන common database එකක් කරන් තමයි brute force එක run කරන්නේ. ඒතර ඒවයි ওই නම් ටික නෑ එකක්වත්. පුඤ්ඤ සෝමගේ දැම්මනම් හරි. ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. Is it clear guys?
Yes sir.
Any concerns, questions?
So public port මොකද well known port public port private port කියලා port තියෙන්නේ. ඕකේ මේ private කියලා තියෙන්නේ මේ කියන්නේ අපේ machine එකට ආවේනිකව හැදෙන්න කව.
ඒකේ මට තේරුන්නේ නැහැ.
ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ දැන් මේ well known port කියලා තියෙනවා යාර තියෙන 22 23 443 ඒ වගේ
ඒවා standard ports ඒවා.
එතකොට සර් private port කියලා කොටසක් තියෙනවානේ
නෑ එහෙම නෙමෙයි ඕකේ තියෙන්නේ standard port උයි non standard port උයි private port කියලා නෑ standard port තමයි port number 1 to port number 1200 1024 ports 1 to 1024 those are the standard port. Let's say for example if you are running a website which is run on the port 80 if you are running the HTTPS which is running on the 443 if you are running the SSH communications that is running on the port 222 if you are running on the RDP that is running on the 3306 if you are running the MySQL that is running on the 3389 so likewise those are the predefined standard ports. There are other ports because let's say for example if you are running your own customized applications then you can use those standard ports because those are already assigned to the different applications. Then what you can use is you can use the other ports from the 1025 onwards to the until up to the 65,535. So those are the non-standard port range that you can use it. So we do have a two type of port ranges. Let me show you that one. If I go to etc services in Linux environment, they are maintaining this file. See here, each and every port and the purpose. See, until up to the 46,998. But in the normal environment, what we are saying is port 1 to 1200 1024 are the standard port range. See here, you can see a lot of ports there as well. Those are actually the different type of applications. You can see that, of course, you might not heard these application here. So what you have to understand here is the interesting thing, like it's just a good question actually. It's a good question. Like we do have a two type of ports, standard ports and the non-standard ports. So always the standard ports will be laid under the 1 to 1024. These are the standard ports. And the non-standard ports will be steering up to 1025 to 65,535. Those are non-standard ports. Hope you have clearly understood what we have mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, concerns so far what we have discussed?
එතකොට සර් අරක අරුන් ස්කෑන් කරන්නේ පෝට් ටිකනේ.
ඔව් කෙලින්ම ආයි ගහන්න තියෙන මෙහෙමයි ගහ මෙච්චරයි තියෙන nmap එකක් ගහන්න තියෙන. nmap මේකේ නෑ. nmap එක තිබ්බනම් කෙලින්ම nmap එකක් ගහන්න තියෙන. මේක nmap එක දාන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන. මහ ලොකු දෙයක් නෙවෙයි තියෙන්නේ. පට්ට ප්ලීස් ඉනි වැඩේ. Let me check you like let's try whether we have that. I'll show you that one if that is available. So nmap is one of the port scanning tool. Let's say for example, if I run the 34.237.243.5, that is one of the Ubuntu machines that I'm running. Let's see it like this. Minus A stand for all options, like they will use the PN options, sorry, PN. Let's see. See, it says 22 is up. Now, once we identify the 22 is up and running, so we can launch the attack using one of another tool. So there are so many things like let's run the minus P option. Sorry, PS from the PS. Let's try to get the OS fingerprinting if that is provided. So we will be able to get the OS details as well. OS fingerprinting. No, that is not given here. Like it says host seems to be down, but let's try to run like this minus PN minus O. These are just a command like options, the different kind of options that is available. You can try out these things. I'm just typing like here. This is I have tried to get the operating system details. So it gives you some guessing, like it is running the Linux 2.6 kernel, 4.0 or 3 kernel. 92% is sure that I am running with the Linux kernel. Let me check what is the kernel that I am running in here. It's running 4.0 kernel. Sorry, 5.4. 5.4, that means the guessing is not quite correct. So here, but they try that to identify the Linux kernel details, but not exact guessing that they have done. But this is called the OS fingerprinting. So try to identify the operating system. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any issues, concerns so far what we have discussed? This is just to give you idea, but not related to the topic. But related to the log management, that you been cleared with this one? So along with that, like mail related, like whenever you are dealing with the mail content, the mail related content will be logged in here. Tail -f mail related content. So you can see 30 July. This is just about the postfix. So mail related things. Likewise, for the different purposes, they do have different files. So you can see that the mail log messages, you can see with the messages dash another date like 2021-06-20, 2021-06-27, 7/4, 7/11. So these actually, whenever you are going to deal with the logs, in order to maintaining the proper log mechanisms, there is a log rotations. These are the log rotations. Every week, by default, in any Linux systems, every week, the log file will be rotated. Log file will be rotated. The reason why they are going to rotate the logs is because to ensure that this is what you need to understand here. This is being done to ensure that log files are not grow to the like huge capacities. Because if the log file, since this is just a text file, if it is exceed like more than 500 MB size, you will not be able to read it. So you can see that this log file will be rotated due to like like it before exceeding the 1 MB, they have been rotated. Most probably there is 1 week time they are going to rotate it. 1 week time. So even we can read out the log files which is having the MB sizes, but if it is trying to reach to the like GB sizes, of course you won't be able to read it. That is the issue. So that's because of that, in order to maintain flexible like readable logs in your environment, they will be doing the log rotations. And even to the save your hard disk spaces also, they will do the log rotations. That what they are going to do is they will only keep 1 month old backup logs, 1 month old only. Now we do have, this is the 620 onwards, we do have until up to the 730, like 1 month old backups only. 1 month old backups. So always they are keeping only 1 month. Like if you want to have the more older backup logs, so obviously you can configure it. I'm not going to show you those details because it's a like it's high, like two technical things that we will be going to discuss, but here you can do it under the etc log rotate.conf. So this is rotate 4 in the sense they are keeping only 4 weeks worth logs, backup logs, backlogs. But if you change this value, they will be keeping forever that you until up to you mentions the number that you have mentioned. Like say for example, if you mention that to the 8, that means they will be going to keep like two months backlogs. 12 3 months backlogs. Like if you say to the 52, they will be going to keep the 1 year backlogs. Likewise, that is being going. But of course, you must remember that if you storing the backlogs, that is consuming your hard disk. So you will be getting the benefit of storing the backlogs at the cost of hard disk spaces. So that you must remember it. That you must remember it. So, but anyway, that is possible. So always keep in mind whenever you are going to deal with. So always keep in mind there is a RSys log. You don't want to start separately because this is by default active running when you install the Linux systems. It's a default service that they are going to active running. So you can see it's running 1 week, 5 days until up to now. So that is still running. So you don't want to separately remember those things. There's nothing to worry. So it's running perfectly. But what you need to understand here is always keep in mind that whenever you are going to deal with, they will be dealing with the syslog configurations, syslog configurations. Is it clear, guys? Do you have any issues, concerns so far what we have discussed? Anything that you want to specifically ask? Anything that you want to know?
Yes.
Any issues, concerns, questions? Anything, guys?
මේ අර සිස්ටම් එක අප් වෙලා තිබිච්ච ටයිම් එක ගන්න කමාන්ඩ් එක මට
Uptime. This is the command. එදා process management ගිය සතිය කරා නේද ඔක?
අප් ටයිම් කියලා එකක් කරලා නේද?
කරේ නැද්ද? Uptime command. So if you want to look at the system uptime on the Linux system, so what you need to do is you can run the uptime command. So it shows you like it says 17 days, 5 hours, 41 minutes. Now there are 2 users logged into the session. Those 2 are from the same IP. Like W command I have discussed, right? From this same thing. Any questions, guys? Anything else that you want to ask related to this one?
I think no, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Great. So the last part of this disk management, what we will be going to, sorry, not the disk management, sorry guys. The journal and log concepts with the latest Linux environment. So now you will be understand that whenever you want to look at different log file, so different like if you want to look at the authentication related things, you have to look at the secure log. If you want to look at the mail related thing, you have to look at the mail log. If you want to look at the the service starting related things, you must look at the messages. And if you want to look at the boot related things, like boot related process, you must look at the boot log. So there are different files to look at whenever you want to deal with it. But with the latest Linux environment, what they have done was they have introduced the new concept called journal daemon. So there is another daemon called, if you look at the status, systemd journal d service, systemd journal d service, systemd journal d service. So that is another mechanisms which will be allowing you the logging. And interesting thing here is when you're dealing with the systemd journal, everything will be logged into the single locations. If you want to look at all the things, you can use the journal CTL command. So from the boot up, you will be able to see everything here. Authentication related thing, then again service starting related thing, then again boot up. You see here what you are seeing right now, it's a machine boot up process, boot up related thing. So everything in one place, all in one locations. See here, this is the system daemon. See all the are SSH access ticket. So failure accesses everything. So that's they have been introduced with the journal daemon, journal CTL. And journal CTL, you can use -PERR. Like if you want to look at only the errors, you can search it like that. But when you're dealing with the normal system daemon, say rsyslog, you don't have a specific command to look for the errors. But here they have been defined the different type of context. So when you are dealing with the journal daemon, you can define the time ranges since and the till. Just give me a second, we'll see that one. Time ranges, you can look at the logs for the given time ranges, since until. See, since and the until. If you define the time ranges, you will be able to look at only for that particular time range, since and the until for that particular time range. So likewise, you will be able to deal with a lot of options there, like say for example, journal CTL hyphen since. You can say that 2021 0713 like 088002 hyphen until we can say 2021-07 13 1300. So like until up to the 1 p.m. 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. See, exactly from the 8 to only 1. So likewise, you can be able to search for the time ranges. So likewise, they have been given exact advanced feature sets to deal with this Linux environment, That is one of the benefit that they have added here. So that is called the journal daemon. So in the latest operating system, like if you look at the any type of today's environment, they are running both rsyslog daemon as well as the journal daemon. Both daemon will be run and they will be separately logged into the two different environments. If you like, what I'm suggesting here is if you are using with the today's environment, use the journal CTL to like journal daemon to look at troubleshooting for the different aspects. Even here also, like whenever you have made a mistakes, even here also you can see that they will be suggesting like to see the errors, check the journal CTL commands, not the normal rsyslog daemon. So even the service itself also suggesting to look at the journal daemon rather than using the rsyslog daemon concepts. So that's why you will be seeing like whenever like if you have made a mistake, seen here. Let's say I have done that one and then I have been restarted. Postpick service, let's say postpick service. So they straight away saying that if you want to see the error, just run the journal CTL -xc command. Once you run it, it says that cannot create directory var postfix permission deny fatal unable to create missing queue directories. See, it clearly mentions that is it's error with the queue directory. Postfix integrity check failed to start the postfix mail. So this thing can be, you can use the rsyslog daemon and get it those things, but you will be not getting a lot of informations. Like in the journal CTL, you will be getting extra information as well. So that's why even the services itself also suggesting to look at the journal daemon commands, journal log files to troubleshoot anything. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
So now you can see a lot of things here, like when you're dealing with the journal daemon. But keep in mind, both the things are running. Everything's are running, like both services are running, rsyslog daemon and the journal daemon. So don't stop anything, just leave as it is, because because of having the journal daemon, don't stop the rsyslog daemon. Because of having the rsyslog daemon, don't stop the journal daemon. By default, both services are running in a Linux system, so you just allow them to run as it is. Only thing here is this journal daemon. Look at here, when you run the journalctl command, it says this, the log begins at 2021-6-26. This log file location is located under the run log journal in these locations. These log files, journal daemon by default store the log file in the run log journal. If they have been stored those things in the run log journal, the folder content, whatever the content in the run, is a non-volatile content. That means with the reboot, everything will get cleared. Look at this. Now I have done the reboot. Look at this. Right. Now, if I run the journalctl command again, see here, the logs begins at Tuesday 2021 7:13. Then may then time 16:03. The reason why it is happening, these logs will be getting cleared with the reboot because they are storing those logs under the run log journal folder. If anything stored under the run folder, run is a volatile memory. Volatile in the sense this folder will be remain in the memory, not in the hard disk. Because of that, every time you reboot it, the logs will get cleared. In order to make this persistent, there is a configuration location under the etc systemd journal dconf. If you go there, there is a parameter called storage auto. What you need to do is you have to set the storage instead of auto. You have to set the persistent. So once you've done the persistent, just restart the systemd -journald service. Once you restart it, so that will be persistent. Now the journal file will be created under the varlog directory. You will be able to see file called journal. See, now it is created. Now it is created under the varlog directory under the journal folder. So still you can run the same journal commands. Journal -ctl-f will be showing you from the beginning, like even here, starting flush journal to persistent storage, started flush journal to persistent storages. See, everything can be seen here. Grub boot success service succeeded, start mark boot access successful. Likewise, same thing will be done in here as well. So this is what we call it as a logs. The reason why we referring log is purely for the troubleshooting. So as you know now, so almost all the things will be getting into the logs That will make our life easier for the Linux troubleshooting. When we do the troubleshooting, we always refer into the logs. Are you clear, guys? Do you have any issues, concerns so far what we have discussed? Anything that you want to highlight? Anything that you want to know? If you don't have anything, we can wind up the lecture. And from the next week, like this Friday, we are going to start the file system permissions. That is also going to be a interesting one. Like we'll be going to discuss the file system permissions, and as soon as like it'll take 2 days time, and as soon as we complete the file system permissions, we are going to start the disk management. That will take 3 days times, like 6 to 9 hours for the entire lesson. And then once we complete it, we will be getting touch with the industry implementations, DNS, and the other things. Guys, do you have anything else that you need to know?
I mean, bash scripting, shell scripting or scripting bash shell.
සෙල්ස් ස්ක්‍රිප්ටිං කියන්නේ මෙහෙම දෙයක්. ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ workload එක පහසු කරගන්න දැන් අපි ඔය manually කරන දේවල් ඔක්කොම සෙල්ස් ස්ක්‍රිප්ටිං හරහා ගොඩ දාගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ එකකට තමයි සෙල් ස්ක්‍රිප්ට් එකක් කියන්නේ. So the shell scripting we will be used for the different purposes. As far as I say, like you'll be using for the accessing, like do automations part, like task automations. That is the main purpose. Is it clear?
Yes, bash scripting
Bash scripting කියන්නේ එක scripting language. Python, Bash, Perl ඔය එක languages තියෙනවා. එක scripting language. Do you clear, guys? Anything else that you want to ask? So if you are clear with this, let's wind up the session for today, and we'll meet on this Friday, and we'll start the Linux file system permissions. That will continue like 2 days, like 4-hour session, and then we'll go ahead with the rest, like disk management. There are a few things like disk management, file system permissions, and then we'll discuss about the Apache server configuration, like web server configuration, and the DNS as well. So let's do that one. So with that once we complete those things, your sessions will be winded up. Most probably we'll be able to cover out by the beginning of first week of August, most probably. Yeah. Okay, guys. So see you and good night, goodbye. Stay safe, and we'll meet on Friday.